Well, ladies and gentlemen, they've really had a heart-to-heart. They've really sat down, thought about it, tried to figure it out. GOG, how is it possible that Lightyear, a movie in the summer all about everybody's favorite space ranger, could have possibly flopped? Well, I'm not sure you're going to believe the kind of answer they came up with, but at least they've got an answer. Pixar thinks they know why Lightyear was a fail. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is so fantastic that you are joining us. And it's also fantastic that Force of Light, Michelle, is here to talk with us all about the latest thing from Pixar. If you have not yet seen some of the dismal things that Disney is doing, well, hang in there, because later today we're going to take a look at even more stuff that's happening with this company. So they are really on a roll. We'll have that one coming out at 4:30 this afternoon Eastern Time. But the one we have for you tonight, right now is, well, it's bad enough. So if you want to hang in there, make sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe, and remember that if you hit the notification bell, you can stick it to those algorithms when you click it. All right, we are going to take a look at IndieWire. Michelle, are you ready to find out just how bad we are rather than Pixar?
I'm ready.
Here we go. This one by Samantha Bergeson. Pixar had to do a lot of soul searching after Lightyear flopped at the box office. And everybody throw the confetti, play the music, do a little dance. They're finally admitting that it flopped. Do you know how long this took? Do you know how long it took for them to admit that this movie flopped? They were saying it for Strange World, but oh my gosh, they have not said that Lightyear flopped for so very long. So it's nice for them to tell the truth.
And that one's kind of both of them, but Lightyear itself was also pretty hard to deny that it was a massive failure.
Oh, but it was just, what would be the things that they said? It underperformed. That's
to say the least.
That's right. All right, here we go. What went wrong is what we asked. Oh my gosh, it's already right here. What went wrong is that we asked too much of the audience, Pixar Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter said. Oh, let's get into it. Pixar and box office flop are usually not put together in the same sentence. That's because you guys don't put them in sentences, but we do. Yet the lows of Lightyear went to infinity and beyond, it seemed. After the Toy Story spin-off animated feature underperformed in theaters, and even saw some cineplexes fast forward a same-sex kiss when showing the film, Pixar's Chief Creative Officer, Pete Docter, addressed what went wrong with Lightyear, which starred Chris Evans as the real astronaut Buzz Lightyear that the toy is based on. The film received mixed reviews and ultimately lacked the signature Pixar spark drawing audiences in, although they didn't admit that at the time. We've done a lot of soul searching about that because we all love the movie. I just love this. We love the characters and the premise, Docter told The Wrap. I think probably, are we all ready for this? Here we go. Here comes the switcheroo. I think probably what we've ended on in terms of what went wrong is that we asked too much of the audience. Just pause on that for a moment. We asked too much of the audience. Do you know what that's like, Michelle? That's like a kid who gets a C in class and the teacher's like, I probably asked too much of you. That is the worst slap in the face. And it's not, you know who the audience is? Everybody else.
So all the soul searching led them to it's not our fault, it's your fault.
Literally everybody but us sucks. We're so much greater and better than you, and we just asked you to be able to handle a kids movie, and by gosh, you couldn't do it. You just, that's the message. All right, we'll finish the quote. When they hear Buzz, they're like, great, where's Mr. Potato Head and Woody and Rex? Because they're a bunch of freaking idiots. I love this. And then we drop them into this science fiction film that they're like, what? Because again, their IQs, we assume, are that of potatoes. Docter continued, even if they've read the material in press, which would be a challenge, we assume, at Pixar, it was just a little too distant, both in concept and I think in the way that characters were drawn, that they were portrayed. It was much more of a science fiction, which we know at Pixar, people are unable to comprehend. And Angus, to his credit, took it very seriously and genuinely, things that our fans and our audiences aren't capable of, and wanted to represent those characters as real characters. But the characters in Toy Story are much broader. And so I think there was a disconnect between what people wanted, expected, and what we're giving to them. So essentially, it's all of our faults that Lightyear failed, the reasons that we've come up with for why Lightyear failed, the reasons that we said it would fail before it failed. None of those are true. It's just that we're all Neanderthals walking around. Michelle, take it away. Tell me how lovely the people at Pixar must be.
Yeah. I mean, Disney, sadly, it's just like you come to expect this, whether it's Lucasfilm, Pixar, Marvel, they don't want to take accountability, like, because they view what they're putting in their films as like they're the moral superior for doing this. And we are just all basically just a bunch of ist and phobes and all that stuff for not liking that. Because let's be real, that's what they didn't say that, but that's what they're thinking when it comes to this, because they brought up they did bring up the kiss and everything.
They briefly brought it up, but it has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all to do with it. No.
Well, and then, they may be onto a little something there, because on one aspect, because yes, when you associate Buzz Lightyear, guess what? People want Tim Allen, one, as Buzz Lightyear. And then secondly, yes, kids are familiar with Toy Story, not some realistic science fiction. So if you wanted to make that, then just don't make it Buzz Lightyear. Make it some new thing. Might have been the better option there.
But Michelle, let's get real for a minute. They could have went and bought action figures from Target, and they could have done terrible motion capture with these things, right? Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but worse. They could have done that and released this thing in the summer and made $500 million just by having the name Buzz Lightyear attached to it. The whole thing, this all fell apart when they decided that a little boys movie, that the way to market that was to center it around two women in a relationship who somehow have a kid, who have affection for one another, and that scene and that expectation was then going to cause families to have to explain how two women can have a child to their child. That's why is that in a little boy's movie? There's no reason for it. They pinned the whole thing on it.
Yeah, because that shouldn't be in a little girl's movie. Like, what little girl wants to see that even? I mean, I'm just being realistic there. Most don't. They want like princess, fairy tale, that type stuff. So that wouldn't sell to little girls, but as you're saying, especially little boys, like this should have been Buzz Lightyear's movie, like 100% a good story about Buzz Lightyear. And then
he was the bad guy. He was the bad guy, Michelle.
That's what I've heard. I haven't watched it. I have no desire to watch it, but I've heard that it's just, no, like, yeah, you deserve to lose money when you come up with an idea that's stupid.
Right. Maybe they can also do a Woody movie, a spinoff where Woody's the bad guy. Or maybe they can do all kinds of films where they can take the characters we love and turn them into villainous creatures who are part of the hierarchies of oppression. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah. I mean, very soon Disney will probably have they'll probably I don't even know if I should say it actually, but I could see them even doing this at some point with the little princess movies, and the little girl, princess will be the villain, and there might be some other kind of woman that shows up that, has been oppressed by the actual woman. I mean, I don't know. At this point, Disney could do anything. It's ridiculous.
Well, Valiant Renegade and I were talking about the chances that The Little Mermaid does well, and I said, 80% chance that it takes off and it does phenomenal, right? But I said, there's that 20% chance that Disney is doing something really stupid that will create all this controversy, like with Buzz Lightyear. Because if you said Buzz Lightyear is going to be a flop 3 or 4 years ago, the common consensus would be there's no possible way. You can slap this name on anything and it will make money. And they proved that's not the case. So with The Little Mermaid, there's that 20% chance that Disney continues to be really, really stupid. And so who's to say? Maybe they will have fish doing like a political salute. Maybe that'll be a part of it. Maybe Ariel wants to get on the land, not for a prince, but to be an activist. Who knows? I don't know.
Exactly that. And see, that's another way they can ruin a little girl's story, because I can definitely see that coming at some point. So again, leave it to Disney. They'll find a way to mess up what should be a slam dunk.
Now, the media is still carrying the water for Disney a little bit because they play this game where they say, a flop and Pixar, that's not something you think of, right? That's the way that they make it better. But in reality, that's a perception from long ago, in my opinion. And so I want to share with you what we've been getting out of Pixar, right? These are their feature films they've come out with. So let's just do a run through of these films. And remember, folks, Strange World, not part of Pixar. That's Disney Animation Studios. It's its own can of worms right now, because all through Disney, they have franchise fatigue that's spreading. They just can't figure out why, although I think they really do. But so let's take a look. We've got Lightyear, flop. We've got Turning Red, which was pulled from theatrical release and put straight onto streaming at the last moment. And I think we all can assume why.
Yeah.
They knew that wasn't going to do well at the box office. And for clear reasons. I don't think that many parents want to go and take their children to watch a preteen girl twerk at her mother to defeat her. That's not not the traditional values you might expect. We've also got Luca. Luca was fine. I think it's a good little movie. No problem there. Soul, again, fine movie. But then look at this. So let's say that's 2 out of 4, right? 2 out of 4 were either a flop or had to be pulled because they were heading for flop territory. Soul and Luca, I think it's fair to say that they honestly were put to streaming only for the time period that we were in. It wasn't possible to do box office releases. Onward, flop. It's totally a flop. What did you think of that film? Did you like Onward?
I didn't see that. Honestly, I've not been a big fan of most Pixar things outside of Toy Story, which I loved growing up.
Right. So we've got Toy Story 4. Speaking of Toy Story, I think that's largely now. I think people in hindsight look back and go, that movie kind of sucks. And it sort of goes against the whole ethos of the prior Toy Stories. The whole idea now is, oh no, leave your buddies, leave your friends, leave leave Andy, leave the people who want to play with you. You're your own toy now. But Incredibles 2, that was awful. And
I didn't see Incredibles 2. Incredibles was good. The first one.
Oh yeah, Incredibles is fantastic. It's an amazing movie. Incredibles 2, no. But Coco, I'm going to give it to them. Coco is awesome. I think that's a great movie. But you've got to go all the way back to Coco. You've got to go all the way back to Coco before you get to something that I think is of Pixar level quality, like what we remembered. So no, this is not. Pixar is this grandiose studio that is above having flops, and Lightyear is this abnormality. No, look at what they've been producing. Lightyear, flop. Turning Red, pulled last minute. Luca, it's fine. Soul, it's pretty good. Onward, flop. Toy Story 4, a shadow of the original movies, the first 3. And Incredibles 2, it's an embarrassment that even has the Incredibles name on it. So this is a pattern now.
Did Incredibles 2 do good at the box office?
It did. It had a significant drop off, as I remember, but it did pretty well. I think part of that though was that people saw the name Incredibles, and
yes.
If you go back to 2018, we were not yet at the point where there was an expectation that Disney was going to put out suboptimal content. That wasn't an expectation yet. There wasn't a pattern developed. Also remember that at that time, we were riding the highs of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We were in phase 3. We were heading towards Endgame. So everybody was really excited about Disney. But we were starting to find, like with Star Wars, we were starting to see we've got problems here. This company has some issues that they're not addressing.
Yeah, and apparently they're not going to address them. They're just going to blame the audience.
Right. We're the rubes. We're the rubes.
We're the problems.
We just can't understand concepts so deep as science fiction.
Yeah, because no one's ever enjoyed a good science fiction, even kids. That's ridiculous.
And spin-offs, we just can't conceive of those. There's no way to grasp that.
Yeah, none. We haven't seen many from Disney even, but that must be it. Must be it.
So now looking forward, we've got some more animated stuff coming from Disney. We've got Elemental, we've got Wish coming out. What say you? Do you think that families now are looking at those upcoming offerings from Disney, either from Pixar or from Disney Animation Studios? Do you think families now are apprehensive? Do you think that they're waiting and finding out what's in this stuff before they take their kids?
Absolutely, because they've seen it. I mean, we got the behind the scenes of the conversations going on at Disney. We had the warring that went on with Florida and DeSantis between them and Disney. Parents are very aware. Then they have Lightyear that comes out, and what is it? Strange World, the movie that totally flopped.
Yes. Oh
They
yeah,
had that.
horrible flop.
Yes, and it's just like parents now, it's almost like it is with Star Wars, where fans are hesitant, like, because they've been burned so many times. Parents are feeling that way. And definitely, it's like you said, they're going to want to have a website that tells them, like, what's in this movie, because parents want to decide, do I want my kid to see this? Do I want to have this conversation with my kid when we leave the theater if that's in the movie? So I think parents are absolutely hesitant at this point when it comes to Disney.
And there are going to be detractors. There are going to be there will be people who say, "Oh, well, you just don't want such and such type of content or such and such representation in movies. You're a horrible person. That's why you're against this. This is why you're always against Disney and doing these videos." But I think that this is much, much deeper. I think that this is a philosophical issue, and it's almost axiomatic to what entertainment is. Because if you look at stuff like the Minions movies coming out, they're making $1 billion on a $100 million budget. And the reason they're doing that, it doesn't have anything to do with representation. It has everything to do with, you can take your children to go watch the competitions movies, and you don't have any kind of awkward or difficult conversation to have. And so
yes,
I
yes,
think
because
I think people need to not jump to the conclusion that families out there are bigots or they're phobes or whatever. I think it's so much simpler. Families want to pay money to eat popcorn and have fun. They don't want to have a conversation that's very serious after they leave the theater with their 5-year-olds.
no, they like what I was going to say about Minions. Minions is just there to entertain your kids. Like, there's not yes, every movie has its own little messaging, but kids movies used to be like messaging that was good about, kind of these universal things we can all get behind about finding yourself, or
Brush your teeth.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like innocent things, even that is just a part of life. But the main thing was to have fun. Like,
Right.
these movies are supposed to be fun. Kids are not wanting to be lectured to. They want to sit there and they want to laugh. They want to enjoy. That's what a kid wants. And Disney seems to be more in where all they want to do is lecture and put in their ideology into their movies. And guess what? Parents don't want to deal with it, and kids don't enjoy it. I mean, it's both ways on that.
But it's so funny to me that we're putting this into children's stuff, like for 5-year-olds. And there's a debate about it, because I'm thinking to myself, parents are trying to teach those kids the alphabet. Like, they're trying to teach them that the letter A makes the ah sound and B makes the buh sound. And they're trying to teach them, like, don't chew with your mouth open. And then you've got Disney and these wackos at Disney who are like, oh no, you need to teach intersectionality to your children. It's like, no, they're chewing with their mouth open. We're not doing that yet.
Yes. And I mean, people have to realize too, kids, like when they're especially younger, like really younger kids, I mean, they're even still in the phase, like, especially say little boys, where they might be like, ew, girls have cooties, or girls might say, oh, boys have, their minds just aren't where Disney seems to think their minds are, basically.
And they shouldn't be.
No, it's not normal. It's not the natural way of the way we develop as human beings.
We should really be consultants. I mean, we should be. Do you know how much money we could make just by going into these meetings saying, that's not normal?
Yes, like no, like, just don't do that. But they think it's for the greater good, that they have to teach us what they deem as right and acceptable and good, and we're just all supposed to sit there and take it. And I think, again, the issue here, there's that type of stuff in almost everything in entertainment. It's not that, I mean, we see it all the time. It's an age thing. People just don't want to have those conversations with their kids. They just want something mindless for their kids to watch, basically.
Well, despite our verbose conversation, despite our elevated vernacular, let's just admit we're too stupid to understand a children's science fiction movie. It's on us, really. It's on us. I blame you. You didn't go see it.
It's true. Yeah, I just hear Ben Stiller and heavyweights. It's not my fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. That's what Disney's like.
Well, Disney, we want to apologize, and Pixar, we want to apologize to you. We're sorry. We're very sorry. Next time, maybe we will go see your half-hearted, ill-attempted movies that try to subvert parents and put indoctrination in children. Maybe not. All right. Last thoughts before we hop out of here. Where can people find you on this great, big, beautiful web out there?
Yes, you can find me at Force of Light Entertainment on YouTube and also Instagram and Twitter. So check me and my sister out there.
And folks, if you enjoy stuff like this, we'll continue doing it as long as you keep watching. Click like, share, subscribe, and stick it to the algorithms. Click it, the notification bell. That is, we will see you soon. Be watching for the video coming out this afternoon. You won't believe what Disney's up to even beyond this one. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.